Do that test on yourself. You know, we launch a new product. We tell you it's amazing, it's amazing, it's amazing. Maybe you really need it because maybe it's really going to help with your aging or your acne or your pigmentation, but see what else you can do. And maybe it's not for you. Don't just buy it because of a marketing gimmick.
Yeah.
Is that going to kill our marketing? Is that going to kill our brand?
It's not it, because I think it's very honest.
This is Skin Talks, the podcast where we go deeper than skin, products, and trends and explore the conversations that actually matter in health, beauty, wellness, and confidence.
We're a mother-daughter duo and the founders of Boutique Skin Envie. After years inside the industry, we've learned that health is never just about what you use. It's about everything you digest, how you think, how you live, what you eat, how you move, what you put on your skin, and how you feel in your own body.
If you're looking for insight, honesty, and a fresh perspective on the future of health, beauty, and wellness, you're in the right place.
Let's get into it.
Skin Talks podcast by Boutique Skin Envie, hosted by Beata and Natasha.
So the end of the year is quickly approaching. And let's talk about fatigue, specifically skin fatigue, because I feel like it's an epidemic.
It's a bit of an exaggeration, but it's okay. It's a thing, though. It's definitely a thing.
The time of the year where everyone just feels so tired and looks so tired. And it's like the holidays are approaching and we just can't wait to get it over with in a way and like just to chill because the year has gone by and so much has happened.
And there's
that
like a
we're
sprint.
so tired. Yeah. And we're so tired that it's just also so reflective on how we look.
It is like, you just got to think of it. It's like when you think about the December, it's like the sprint to the finish line, the end of the year. You've got a million different things going on, like reviews at work, quotas that you need to fulfill. Christmas parties, holiday events, heavy foods, social events.
Drinking.
You sleep less, you stress more. And oftentimes, you know, if you're out at a party, a lot of people come home after having a couple drinks and are so exhausted and wiped out that they just go to bed without taking their makeup off.
I mean, couldn't be me, but
no.
One would only hope that people are still not doing that.
It is a thing, though.
But I guess it is.
It is a thing. Waking up in the morning with your mascara down around your cheeks. Like,
yeah.
It's a thing. And I understand it also because like I don't do it, but there's sometimes at this time of year that I come home, and I have in the last couple of weeks come home and been like, I just can't. I'm so tired. I don't want to wash my face. I'm just going to go to bed. And I'm like, no, Beata, you don't do that.
Yeah.
You'll never do that.
Yeah.
You know?
No, you can't do that.
No, I know.
It's like, it's against all rules.
It's a really, really not a recommended thing, especially when you're wearing makeup at events and stuff like that. It's like you're asphyxiating your skin all night long.
But it's also an exciting time of the year where like, I mean, not for everybody, but
it's a hard time of the year for a lot of people.
It is a very hard time of the year for people, for sure. But it's also for some people very exciting because it's like holidays and glitz and glamour and your kids and food and alcohol and all this stuff. And it's all very much
social.
Yeah, social.
Or isolating. One or the other.
Which is like so exhausting for me.
I know.
The idea of it. I think just like I love to socialize, but like it's just so much by the end and it goes by so fast that like it's almost hard to enjoy the moment. And it's like just it's exhausting. Like
it is exhausting.
My social battery's depleted.
Well, already it's depleted anyways because you're right now 9 months pregnant.
Yeah.
And expecting your baby really soon.
Anytime now.
It's very exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So let's talk about some of the things that we've experienced with our own skin during the holiday season and also what we see with people during the holiday season. So Tash, like what kind of things do you find that have affected you or what you've seen with your skin at this time of year?
I mean, I would say, I don't know, I'm kind of have perfect skin.
But it's also because you manage it.
Yeah, I really, I guess I can see people having this skin fatigue, like not taking care of their skin, not on top of their like routines. I personally cannot relate to this at all. Like my skin, especially because I'm pregnant, is amazing. My skin is really good. And I think it's due to the pregnancy, like the blood flow and everything. Like I have glowing, great skin. So I cannot complain. I'm also on a very good skincare routine and I don't... Like that's my number one priority when it comes to that. So I don't know. I don't really have any issues.
You don't have issues. Well, you're lucky because a lot of people when they're expecting do.
There's a lot of women have acne.
Yeah.
Look, listen, like my hyperpigmentation is obviously not the same that it would have been this year around if I wasn't pregnant. Obviously, I know that because you have pregnancy mask, but that's just something that comes with it. And I know that I can maintain it once the baby's born, and then
you're
I can
also
go on.
limited on what you can use to tackle that,
But
right?
I'm using all Skin Better Science products. They're very gentle. They're very nourishing. And I would say that it's maintained my melasma very well, almost better than other brands have when I'm not pregnant post summer. Like summer is where I really,
the heat
affects, like it's just warmth and heat really affects my melasma, and I will always have flare ups. But this year around, I found that it wasn't nearly as bad at other times, even when I was using different brands.
That's because you're pregnant.
Yeah. But no, that's because I think the products that I'm using are so good.
Also,
right?
That makes
like
sense.
I think that
but your skin has just been really good this pregnancy overall.
Yeah, I have no complaints, and I'm very lucky and very grateful, obviously. I hope it stays that way. But yeah, no, overall, I feel like I'm super lucky, and I know that people struggle with it. And also like people go to bed without their makeup on, and they don't prioritize their skincare routine, and they, with their makeup on, and they don't prioritize their skincare routine. They're drinking more, they're eating more unhealthy foods, more candies, more sweets. Like, I mean, it's inevitable sometimes for people. So either you kind of just suck it up and deal with it, or you find if it really bothers you, then you got to find ways to prevent it. And that's using good skincare and being mindful of what you inject in your body and eat.
Ingesting. Yeah, it's for sure. Well, for me, this time of year, I feel always an enormous pressure towards the finish line. Christmas for me is a very happy time because, I get to be around family and stuff like that. But it's also, I find I get really nostalgic also around Christmas time. And it's not because I'm sad, so to speak, about anything, but I get a sadness overwhelming me because it's the end of a year. And, I just feel emotional around this time of year. But what I try to do is I try to really look back on my year and try to look back at all the things that I've accomplished. Because I'm not somebody who sets out really on New Year's resolutions. I'm more about looking at what I've achieved in my life in the past year and kind of acknowledging that and celebrating that. But definitely this time of the year I'm completely and totally exhausted. And, like you said, lack of sleep, bad food, not bad food, but excessive food, desserts, a lot of sugar, more stress, skipping your skincare routine puts an enormous amount of stress on the body as a total, the total body.
Yeah.
Internally and externally. And of course, this causes dehydration. It causes inflammation, which causes disease and premature aging of the skin. It slows the cellular turnover. I mean, there's a lot of things that happen. So I think what we see a lot of and what I feel in my own body is dullness. The skin feels dull and lacking radiance, doesn't feel vibrant and snatched somehow. It's you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, I'm my eyes, I'm just feeling exhausted. My skin looks exhausted. We call it skin fatigue, which we talked around before. But what I've noticed a lot is that people are breaking out a lot more.
It's for sure the sugar and alcohol.
But just also the inflammation in the body. That's
stress,
that's what happens. It's just the stress in the body shows up in those ways. So either visibly or underneath the surface, you're accelerating premature aging of the skin of the body because of this additional stress that you put on it during this time of year. So, I think skin fatigue can really be defined as when the skin looks tired because it's overwhelmed both from an internal point of view and an external point of view.
Yeah. Doesn't help that it's cold and all of these things as well, Yeah.
I think being mindful about basically shifting your mindset and really focusing instead on trying to fix it is to try to allow yourself to recover. Give yourself the space for recovery. Maria Nilla, color care with a conscience. We fell in love with Maria Nilla because it proves you don't have to compromise between performance and purpose. This Swedish salon quality hair care line is 100% vegan, cruelty-free, and climate compensated, yet delivers real professional results. Every formula is crafted to protect color, nourish the scalp, and strengthen the hair, all while honoring the planet. It's conscious luxury that works as beautifully as it feels. Discover Maria Nilla at bskinenvie.ca. That's bskinenvie.ca, and use SkinTalks15 for 15% off your first order. So let's talk about what you can do about it and what we would recommend. If you have this skin fatigue and you're feeling like this in your skin right now as you go into the holiday season, I personally think, and what I've done for myself that I've always really enjoyed and I've seen the most incredible results from is really going in for treatments.
Yeah.
And this doesn't mean like you're going in for a Morpheus 8 or you're going in for a laser treatment where you're going to have like a downtime and stuff like that. It's more really about deep cleansing and resurfacing. So for example, deep cleansing facials, microdermabrasion, something like a Bella MD or a hydrofacial is excellent. And then also peels. You can do a peel depending on your skin type leading up to the holiday season. And the dramatic change in your skin when you do these types of treatments, like also maybe IPL or a microneedling treatment that's not too invasive, is it's going to give your skin back its glow and vibrancy so that when you look at yourself in the mirror, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I feel that my skin looks healthy. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like gives you a glow. They often call them at this time of year Cinderella facials. You know, Cinderella going out and having to be home by midnight. So she needs to look great for the very short period of time, even though it's not that, it's more of an extended time. It's a great thing to do at this time of year. And I think it'll help you to feel good. Also prep your skin for like putting on more makeup, going out at night to parties and stuff like that. Everything will sit better on your skin when your skin is super, super nourished and clean.
Yeah.
And resurfaced.
Hydrated.
Yeah. Other things that we like are, incorporating in like making sure you're using a really great retinol, because retinol, I mean, don't start it right before the holidays. Obviously, if you're new to retinol, start before, but retinol is really good at resurfacing. And so it really helps to give a more radiant complexion.
Yeah, definitely. Vitamin C is also very good.
Vitamin C is excellent. It's an antioxidant. Really, everybody should be on a vitamin C. And there's vitamin C's for everybody, right? So if you have acne-prone skin, there's Silymarin from SkinCeuticals, for example, all the way to more mature skin types where you want to build like tone and volume, which is, let's say, Grenzine from Vivier. Love that. But tell me some of your favorite retinols that you would recommend.
Is it the Age Intervention Retinol from Jan Marini? That's a great one. Vivier has some really good ones too that are encapsulated, so it's like a slow release. Yeah. They're not very strong. The Skin Better Science Alpha Ret is also probably the one that I would if you've never used retinol, that's probably the one that I'd recommend if you're starting it like right before the holidays, because it's suitable for all skin types, even the most sensitive, and you're not going to have some sort of like reaction or anything. So
I want to add to that, Tash, because I have a super intolerant, or let's say not intolerant, I have a very, very sensitive skin to retinol. And that's because at one time I was using an MD version of a retinol morning and evening. I know I should never do that, but I'm always somebody that wants to have the results right away. So because of that, one time I overdid it so much, I kind of compromised a little bit. And so I always have to start off at 0.25 or 3 and then slowly increase. But I could tell you that I tried the Skin Better Science Retinol, the Alpha Ret Overnight Cream. I've been using it every night, and I'm telling you, I have not even had one little stitch of redness or soreness or sensitivity.
But I can say that about all of their products. Like, none of their products are harsh, and I think their whole line is very, very calming and nourishing. So like you're getting results, but you're not compromising your barrier. And I love that about Skin Better Science, like very high technologies, but nothing is too harsh. Nothing is going to compromise your skin.
No, 100%. I love that brand as well.
It's a little bit pricier, on the pricier side, I would say.
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
But in my opinion, I'm still a Jan Marini girl, and I always will be. I will be going on Jan Marini once I have this baby. But And I was always so nervous about to try Skin Better Science because I was like, I can't steer away from my brand, but I'm pleasantly surprised with
it's a beautiful brand.
I'm
It's also got a lot of other features that I like. Like if you travel, it's got these caps that you can just twist and you can travel. You don't have to worry about it leaking. And
everything's airtight as well, so there's no contamination.
One pump layering process. It's amazing. It's
like
actually
the
really
even tone lasted me months because you're doing one pump. I think it was like 60 days or no, it was even more than that because I started in August and I finished in October. Yeah, it was insane how long that product lasted me. I was shocked.
Because you only need one pump of each, and it's got an automatic dispersion.
Yeah, no, it's definitely amazing.
So other things that really, if you're not somebody who is close to an esthetician or going to see an esthetician during the holiday times is not part of your budget, you can also do things like exfoliating and peels. Like there's one that I really like, and I tried it recently from IS Clinical. It's called the Active Peel System.
Yeah.
It's a 2-step peel system that you can do at home. And they have one that is much more aggressive, but you need to have a consultation to be able to purchase that product. But that's like doing a little bit like a peel at home.
Yeah.
And then you can add in a mask. And that combination will be a treatment, but at the same time, kind of like a quick fix. So like get yourself a glow mask, or if you have oily skin, get yourself a charcoal mask and it'll help to refine the pores and stuff like that. Other things that you can do to really get your skin looking great during the holiday season is invest in a really good makeup primer. You can apply that even before a sunscreen. Let's say you're using the SPF, the Flex from Color Science.
It's the best product.
You put the primer on before because it'll help to smooth out any pores. And then you put that on top and it's like a no makeup look. Yeah. It's fabulous. And I think the most important message for me also is to reiterate that the skin health is about recovery and not restriction. So just like our bodies need rest after effort, like really respecting that. So fast forward a couple of weeks, the holiday parties are over. You've been eating like crazy. You've overextended yourself and now you're on vacation. Usually people get to take off a little bit of time between Christmas and the New Year. Yes, we have the New Year parties and everything to look forward to. And maybe you're going to be doing something, or if you're like me, you're not.
Yeah, ideally.
But there's somehow this pressure that we have to fix ourselves and reset everything for the new year with all these.
Like the gym memberships are going to be going up for sure.
Everything goes up. We even see it in our Medi Spa. Like people get on routines. People they start off the year with a bang because they think that they need to
start fresh,
start everything new and with resolutions. And so oftentimes those resolutions are so over the top.
Yeah, we spoke about it last year in our New Year's Eve episode about how resolutions are for the two of us, not really something that we believe in a way, because it's like, how can you set a resolution for an entire year and only reflect at the next year when it ends? Right.
No, it's impossible.
It's just so, and then that's why resolutions don't work for a lot of people, because it's just this huge step you're supposed to take, and you're going to go to the gym every single day or 3 times a week now for the next 12
pounds.
years.
You're going to quit smoking. You're going to quit drinking. You're going to do it all at the same time. And I think that trying to look at it maybe more as like a reset, and looking at more like choosing words like, I'm going to start some new rituals. I'm going to reflect, and I'm going to be maybe a little bit more intentional about stuff instead of these like action plans.
Definitive things that you're going to do. I'm going to lose 20 pounds. I'm going to read 10 more books. Like it's always like these definitive goals that we set that we never are able to achieve. And then it's just like you lose you're like disappointed in yourself, and it's like kind of just setting yourself up for failure.
No, but instead of, I'm going to lose 20 pounds this year, it's maybe more about,
I'm going to eat healthier.
Well, I'm going to sit down and eat my dinner and appreciate the food I'm eating without my cell phone. Like as simple as that. Yeah. Mindful eating.
Yeah.
Chewing your food more, like little things. Instead of reading so many books in the year, I will make sure that at least 2 days a week that I read something, or at least every time I get in my car, I turn on a podcast, or little things, tiny little things, or like at least once or twice a week, I'm going to journal.
Yeah, it's interesting because I don't set resolutions at all. Like last year, I didn't set a resolution once.
No, I can say that I didn't set any resolutions. I'm not a resolution person.
Yeah.
The last resolution that I set, I was so angry about because I decided I was going to quit smoking in the new year. And for me,
You had a cigarette January 2nd.
The thing is like for me, you quit smoking on December 31st, right?
Well,
But
no, because it's a New Year's party, so you got to smoke.
Well, that's the thing. The person I was with, who I will never forgive, but I'm joking, took my pack of cigarettes, and this is a long time ago.
Who was it?
Terry. He took my pack of cigarettes at 12 o'clock midnight without me ever having my last cigarette and ripped it up. I thought I was going to lose it.
Yeah, I would die too.
I was so pissed off. And he says, a resolution's a resolution. I'm like, no. So I struggled for the weeks afterwards because I never got to have the last one. But then it made me
Is there ever a last one?
Exactly. So, it's something to reflect on, but that's a side story. I'm very happy and grateful by the fact that he ripped up my pack of cigarettes, but I was pissed off for a long time. Yeah,
like the audacity.
Yeah. Like, how dare you do that? Do you not know that I'm in the middle of a glass of wine and I'm looking forward to that last one?
Yeah.
Right? It was bad.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think setting resolutions that are unachievable are dangerous. And so like the way I look at it personally is I want to ask myself things like, what do I want to do less of this year? So do I want to stress less? Do I want to, I don't know, eat less sugar? Those kinds of things that are less definitive and more open and intentional. What do I want to feel more of? Being in your body more and being like conscious of your own feelings about stuff and acknowledging them. Also, I think another thing is we are living in a society and everybody talks about it and everybody does it. We know that we have something like 80 to 100,000 thoughts a day, and 80% of them are repetitive, and something like, 50% of them are negative.
Negative, yeah.
It's negative self-talk. Negative self-talk is terrible, and we all do it, and we all know it's the wrong thing to do, but yet we still need to do it. So being like more aware of how you talk to yourself.
Just being kinder in general.
I know that for me, I've done that. So I'm getting older, I know that things are changing on me. I know that my skin's changing. I know that, I'm becoming a grandmother. I told you it was a little bit of a slap in the face. It took me 2 weeks to recover from just the notion of becoming a grandmother, because that means I'm old enough to be a grandmother. And I used to look at my skin and say, oh my God, look at my skin. I've got I'm getting spots, or I've got this, or I've got that. I intentionally look at my skin every single day now. And I'm like, I love those spots. And it's just a little statement that you say to yourself every single day that makes you feel better in your skin, and not being hard on yourself. I think that's really important. And, what daily habits do you want to make yourself feel more grounded in your life? It could be, making sure to every time your kids go off to school that you really look at them and you tell them how much you love them and give them a hug and wish them a great day, instead of just like, here's your lunchbox, go.
Yeah. So slowing down and being more present in your life. I think those are pretty easy things, but then again, it's also really hard.
But just picking one.
Yeah.
I think self-talk is a big thing.
I also think that if you're going to set these resolutions, don't set a New Year's resolutions in terms of this is what I'm going to do in 2026. Maybe be by January 31st, I want to have done this and this, and go month by month rather than by year, because it's so unattainable. So much happens in a year you don't even know. So do you want to be more grounded, or you want to be less on your phone, do things in small segments and then reflect per month or per every 2 weeks. And then when you see yourself completing those tasks, then you can be like, okay, I've completed this, and just continue going every 2 weeks or every month, whatever works for you, rather than these massive months, because it's just so unattainable to be completing these goals. By March, you want to have not been on your phone, or we wanted to read one book per month, but one month all of a sudden something drastic happened and you weren't able to do it. And it's like, oh, I couldn't do it. And then it's
then you
this,
give up.
then it's this immediate like failure in your brain. So then you don't do April reading a book because you've already failed in February.
Yeah. And we negative self-talk. I'm not capable. I can't even keep a New Year's resolution. I can't even, it's all this stuff. But I think also Tasha,
do smaller goals and reflect more often throughout the year than just at the end of the year in December.
Yeah. And also I think something that's very important that I've learned in my life and that I'm still learning, because we're always learning, is every time you set an intention and you follow through on it and you achieve it, whatever that is, it could be goals, intentions, whatever it is for you personally. But for me, is to acknowledge the success of having done it.
Yeah.
And to really pat yourself on the back. I said I was going to do this. For example, us, like we're so busy building a business and pushing forward that we forget to celebrate along the way all of our successes. You know, we brought another brand and we've not brought another brand in, and we're like, okay, it's done. Check, 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 check. But not like, wow, we've got this brand that we've wanted for a really long time. Congratulations that we did it. Somebody else believed in us. Like just those things.
Yeah.
To tell yourself along the way will be so encouraging to be able to tackle the next intention, the next goal. Because I think, you know, we know that success, it comes from also failures and learnings, right? So you cannot be fully successful in your life if you haven't had pain or made mistakes. So learning from that and just being more intentional and kind to yourself about acknowledging what you have accomplished and where you are, you know, after every month versus where you want to be.
And I think also like, and when you're setting these goals, remember to enjoy the journey as well. Because like if you just get to the end goal and you're like, wow, okay, finally I stopped drinking during the week, but like you didn't like, or like, okay, I think we even said this last year. Like I finally ran my first half marathon. Yeah. I trained for it. I got to it. And then you never ran again.
Yeah. It's because you weren't enjoying running. You were doing it for the end goal.
The end goal, which is not sustainable. And that's like, you want to be healthier. Like ultimately you're running a half marathon because you wanted to run it before the age of this, but ultimately it's to be healthier too. And the journey of getting there is like prioritizing your sleep, prioritizing your health, making sure you're eating well. All these things go into play in order for you to complete a half marathon. Those things you need to enjoy. And ultimately that journey is making you a better person. It's not the end goal that's going to make you a better person.
Yeah. For yourself also. Yeah. It's for you.
So enjoy the journey and not just the goal. Like don't just try to get somewhere and then you succeed and then you're just like, oh, what's next? Oh, like
that's why so many people find themselves, I think, in positions of very big successes. We're talking financially,
and like feeling empty a little bit,
and they're unhappier than ever.
Yeah,
because they have lost themselves in the process. Yes,
that's huge. So I think those are some things to also like,
and I think
take into consideration.
I think when you do these things and you have these small accumulated successes along the way, that your aura and who your radiancy as a human, because I think that we are energy. And if you look at a human being who's really hard on themselves and not happy and like critical and, you know, stressed and all that stuff, their aura around them, you can feel that.
Yeah. Negative.
And when
negative ions.
I think we're animals, so we can sense stuff like that. But when you're in a good place, you feel good, you acknowledge yourself, you are celebrating your successes along the way, your aura is radiant.
Yeah.
So your skin and everything else will just reflect that as a result. And people will want to be around you more because you're giving off good energy rather than the negative, right?
Yeah, that's like one thing I told you so long ago and you were like, that's so mean. Is like, I don't like hang around people that don't serve me. And you're like, that's so mean, blah, blah, blah.
No, but I don't love the word to serve me. I don't like that.
But really it's people that don't
lift you up.
Yeah. That don't serve me and where I need to go. Like I want to be around positive people. I want to be around people that care for me, that I love, that love me back, that are like equal, mutual people in my life, not people that drag me down, that make me tired, that don't serve me ultimately. Right.
Well, there's some people like that are just exhausting to be around. There's tons of podcasts about that, you know? No, I understand
closing the door on that
or just compartmentalizing and saying, I know that when I hang
No,
around this person,
not me. I'm
that
a
it's
Libra.
that's
You're
gonna.
out.
I'm a Sagittarius, so I'm very patient
I
and
am,
very.
no, I'm pretty patient, but like, if you're not uplifting me in terms of like making my life somehow better and I'm doing the other way for you, yeah, like, sorry, no, you're out. I don't need that in my life. I only
I
have,
get it.
I have
You're
one
very
life
consequential.
I have one life to live if I'm not going to spend it with people that are going to drag me down and make me feel tired.
Yeah, no, I know it's a personal perspective. I just guess I'm from a different generation, and I can compartmentalize and anticipate it, and I hold that space for that interaction very intentionally, and I know it, and I give it a certain amount of time, and after that, I need to move on to something else.
Cutthroat.
She's cutthroat, but she says that she's not that cutthroat.
But
You're not that cutthroat, but I understand what you're saying.
but people who are,
No, I know. I mean,
Yeah.
but ultimately, well, I listened to a Jay Shetty podcast that talked about people are either a window, a door, or a mirror. And you got to listen to that because it's very interesting. We're not going to get into that now. But sometimes those people that come into your life that cause you grief and fatigue you are actually teaching you a lesson about yourself.
100%.
So you have to be aware of that also.
100%. I think that there's reasons why people come into your life.
Always.
But and then when that lesson's learned, you close that door.
Yeah.
But that could be like an immediate interaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
for sure.
I don't know if you close that door, you linger that door open, even though you've learned your lesson.
Because I'm very patient and forgiving.
Wait.
No, I am.
But for like,
I am.
It could be to your downfall.
It could be or not. It could be part of the reason
Let's see who's right. At the end of 2026, we're going to see who's right.
It's not about being right and wrong.
Okay, well, I'm putting my money on me.
Oh my God, Tash, wait till you have a child. You might think a little bit differently.
I think I'm going to be even worse. I think that when this baby comes, I'm going to be even more cutthroat to people who don't serve me because I'm going to be even more impatient in my life that I'm going to be
You're just not going to have the time the same way.
But I'm not going to be like, I hear so many women on like Instagram talking about like these memes or whatever being like, you haven't checked up on my pregnancy once. Let's say, for example, like people who haven't checked in on me once, but then want to meet the baby after. And it's like, then these memes being like, the fuck out of here type thing. That's the sort of, I think that I'm going to become more and more protective of my well-being and the baby's well-being and my family's well-being, that I'm just not going to allow any negative ions inside.
I can understand that.
I think I'm going to get worse, and I feel it already in my bones. It's hormonals. My hormones are popping off. No, but like, it's true. I really think that like protecting your peace and protecting your family's peace is essential.
Absolutely.
And like going back to like not allowing people to like bring you down, or like you're hanging around people and they make you feel tired and they make you feel like,
yeah, but I don't have that in my life anymore. I had that in my life. But I still can run into somebody who is that person.
Of course.
And I'll be as pleasant and I will navigate through that knowing what it is. And my body doesn't absorb it anymore. Well, I used to absorb it.
Yeah. But I'm not saying like running into, like, I'm not referring to running into I'm not going to also be an asshole and like run into somebody in the street and not say hi to them because their negative ions are creeping onto me. But I'm not going to allow them into my orbit or into my world ever again.
Yeah. Right? But I also have for me, I look at the fact that a lot of people make decisions in their life because of immaturity or because of lack of experience and never intentionally meant to do that. And they do those things because of their own challenges and trauma. So I have a very strong space of forgiveness.
But that's not your responsibility, is how other people act.
It doesn't mean I have to hang around that person, but I forgive for those things. I really do.
Yeah, obviously.
I'm cutthroat in like who I spend my time with.
Yeah.
But I'm not unforgiving. I recognize the fact that people often do things for reasons that they're not consciously aware of. So I give space for that. And if I see that there's acknowledgement of that just through behavior, I'm very, very open. That's just who I am. So anyways, that's not got anything to do with our New Year's resolutions. We kind of popped off in a different direction.
It kind of does have a little bit to do with New Year's resolutions.
Right.
Is like, that was one of the things, like reducing the negative ions in my life.
Yeah. And I think that,
and staying around positive people and people who uplift you, and like living a more positive life and being nicer and trying to bring some light into this world that's pretty negative right now.
Absolutely. The world's in chaos. But I also think I wanted to say one other thing, is I think that a lot of times things become difficult because we're not entirely clear, because we have a tendency as humans, a lot of humans, to avoid conflict, right?
Yeah, of course.
So therefore, if you get angry with somebody or somebody gets angry with you, but it doesn't say, not
like you're not communicating it.
And not in the way that you did this to me and you. It's like, this happened.
This is how it made me feel.
And this is how it made me feel, instead of pointing fingers. I think there's a big difference there. And I think clarity is a real lacking force in today's world because of social media, because of phones, because of the fact that
like actually communicating your thoughts and your feelings, like genuinely.
Yeah. I feel this way when this happens, not you make me feel this way because you did that.
Yeah.
It's like changing that narrative around that. I think that's very important also.
Yeah.
And that goes to self-talk also.
Yeah.
Which we talked about before. And I think we need to really work on self-talk as a society. And that leads me into the next part of this episode is really, conscious living through choice, being mindful and conscious of stuff. And I would love to be able to talk about where you see that and where I see that flowing into 2026 and BSC's future. All of these things that we talked about today, like what do we want to do for the next year as Boutique Skin Envie, which is like in Canada, and what we've tried to build over the last 5 years is a very influential, positive community for people.
Yeah, uplifting people, making them feel better in their skin.
Yeah. Let's talk about barrier repair, because if your skin is angry, reactive, or constantly breaking out, your barrier is likely screaming for help. A damaged barrier shows up as redness, tightness, sensitivity, or products that suddenly stop working. Alliston's Restorative Skin Complex is the product we reach for when skin needs a true reset. It uses patented Trihex technology to clear out old damaged collagen and help the skin rebuild stronger, healthier from the inside out. This isn't just about soothing, it's restorative. If your skin just isn't behaving, this is where we start. Use Skin Talks 15 at bskinenvie.ca. That is bskinenvie.ca for 15% off your first order.
I think that one of the biggest things, like, yes, we are a retailer and we have so many brands, but I think ultimately being intentional with those products you're purchasing, like buying products from us that are intentional, that are going to work within your routine. So not overspending,
not overconsumption, like really finding a routine in your life that's going to work for you. And I think that goes into overconsumption of everything, which, like, obviously I'm not want to tell you to stop buying from BSC, continue to buy, but in a way that's intentional and that you actually need it. Like, as much as we want to sell product, it's also, don't fill up your shelves with stuff that you're not going to use. It's waste. Like, really, which is why we have this podcast and why we have blogs and have these communications and educate for people to use products that actually works for their skin, and not just buying whatever your best friend or influencer said. Or buying because you don't feel like you're good enough, or buying because you feel that you need to buy
be
products
intentional,
because otherwise you don't fit in. More conscious living, I think, is very important.
Like, do you really need that? Like, I do a test sometimes where I'm like bored at home and I want to buy something because it's sweater weather or I'm maternity, like nothing fits me. And then I go and I'm like, let me just wait 1 week. And I went 1 week without buying a sweater and I survived. So, like, do I really need that sweater?
Did you really need the sweater? I've done that for years, especially as we were building BSC.
So that's a thing that I'm like, do I really need that? Like, do that test on yourself. We launch a new product. We tell you it's amazing. Maybe you really need it because maybe it's really going to help with your aging or your acne or your pigmentation, but see what else you can do. And maybe it's not for you. Don't just buy it because of a marketing gimmick.
Yeah. I think that for us,
is that going to kill our marketing? Is that going to kill our brand?
No, it's not it, because I think it's very honest. And, you know, I'll tell you a story. I was doing a series, like when I went through a really big crisis in my life in 2019, I think it was 2020 or 2021. I can't remember, but I know it was during the pandemic. I did like a 3-month coaching with Bhaskar Goswami,
who we've had on the podcast.
We've had him on the podcast before. I met him at a couple of weekend retreats because I was in a real crisis mode in my life personally, and basically had to restart my life over at 50. And so we did a lot. It was every week. It was basically, I think, 90 minutes or 2 hours. And I committed to it. And I was partially in it and partially not in it because I was in such a crisis mode that I couldn't actually absorb everything that he was saying to me. But I think that's normal because when you're in that state, you only catch certain things. But I remember there was a couple of things that he said to me. One of them was, you know, claiming your beauty as a human being, not asking for it, but claiming it by yourself. That was something that was a really big moment for me, and like a aha moment that I was like, yeah, we want people to claim their beauty, meaning you feel healthy on your own and good in your own skin without having to get validation from the outside. Which leads me to, you know, what we talked about, self-talk, how we talk to ourselves, how we think about ourselves, how we manifest who we are based on what we think we are, and switching that. But at the very last session that I did with him, he said to me, Beata, what is it that you really want? What do you want? Because we were talking about boutique skin envy. And I was like, well, what I really like, we did like a meditation. And when I opened my eyes, I was like, okay, what I really, really want is I would love to take, it sounds really corny. It's not meant to be corny, but it's a real visual that I had, is like takes fairy dust and sprinkle it on all Canadians. And I mean, extending worldwide, obviously, but our market is Canada, to help them feel better in their skin. Like that is ultimately my personal mission, is to help people feel good in their skin. And so BSE, I feel, is a vehicle to be able to pass on that message of, you know, accepting yourself, loving yourself, being kind to yourself, making good choices for yourself, educating yourself, learning, asking questions, all of those things. And, you know, solving issues, getting to health, optimal healthy states through conversations, blogs, but also products, because you just talked about consumption. Like people will watch a TikTok and then they'll go and buy every product in that TikToker's influencer's routine that she's using for her skin.
Because they're made to believe that they need it.
Right. Because there's fear-based marketing. There's like perfection marketing. You look at this person, they've got, you know, filters all over. You admire them, understandably. So you go and copy exactly what you do, but then you end up with a compromised skin barrier. You get acne from it. You get all these things because you're just trying to follow what somebody else is doing instead of really doing what's right for you. So we want people to know about this. And I think for 2026 and moving forward in our future, that's really an important thing that we want people to understand, and that we really want to build that trust within our community. So ultimately what I would love personally, and I've said this since day one, is that I would love it that no matter where you go in Canada, anybody that's struggling with their skin, and it could be a teenage boy in some small village of Prince Edward Island all the way to, you know, Victoria, BC, where, you know, some child or a friend's out for dinner with their girlfriends saying, you know, I'm really struggling with my skin. I've broken out in acne, or I've noticed that I have these breakouts, and that their friend or mother or parent or family member would say to them, you know, you should really book an appointment with the BSE girls. They're going to help you find the right routine for you. That's what I want, because that will help people feel better in their skin. And it's not to say that all the brands that we have, you know, are absolutely 100% perfect. But what we do know is that we have experts on our team who will book a virtual consultation or will find out about you and ask you specific questions, pictures, look at your skin, ask about your routine, your insecurities, your securities, everything. We take it all in on an intake, And then we will build you a routine that's within your budget and that will help you with your skin, at least for the next little while. And maybe it doesn't always work out perfectly at the start, but it's at least a start. And it's not a mix match of a million different things that are absolutely doing nothing, which goes into back to the conscious consumption. Like that's ultimately what my entire purpose is, I think, on this planet when it comes to this company. I feel very passionately about it. I really am very passionate about it.
So ultimately, this episode, we really want people to, like, I think the final closing note here is that we really want people to feel inspired, take rest, take care of your skin, take care of your health, give permission to yourself to, like I said, rest, and to set small intentions for the new year. Don't set these massive goals that are going to be unattainable unless you can really reach out to me if you've actually done it, because I'd be very happy to listen. But set small and intentional changes that you want to do in 2027.
2026.
In 2026, and just enjoy the rest of the month,
And don't try and change who you are. It's like remembering more about what matters.
And just making small steps to be a better person.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So let's start. We want to close with our 3 signature questions.
Yeah. What's one thing you wish everyone did daily for their well-being?
I would say to have a 5-minute you time.
Mm-hmm.
And what about you, Tash? What's one thing that you wish?
Prioritize your sleep.
Absolutely. That's a huge one.
What's one thing you tell someone who feels lost in the skincare world?
Well, first of all, you're not alone, and that there is help out there if you want it. Like, for example, book an appointment at the BSC Glow Lab.
Yeah.
Just will help you.
Yeah.
What about you? What's one thing you tell someone who feels lost?
That's what I was going to say.
So we are aligned on that?
Just send me a DM.
Exactly. I love that.
Finish the sentence. A healthy glow is?
Perfect. Or perfection. A healthy glow is?
A healthy barrier.
Very good. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. Thank you for listening to Skin Talks.
If this episode inspired you, taught you something new, or just made you feel seen, please share with someone you love. And if you believe in thoughtful and empowering conversations that help you make better choices for yourself around your beauty and wellness, please rate and review the show. It helps us to grow our community, and we deeply appreciate it. Because this isn't just about skin.
It's about claiming your beauty, feeling strong, informed, and at home in yourself.
See you next week.